Make sure you tune in. Let's go.
Let's go. Big City 101.3 FM. Waking up with Taylor Andre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. Huge shout out to the most influential people for the Hispanic community for an epic celebration of diversity at the Artist Humanity Epic Center. This was last night, 100 most influential people for the Hispanic community. It was absolutely amazing. It was beautiful. I want to give a huge shout out because not only was my mentor one of the 100 that was the most influential in the Hispanic community, but also Roxanne Longoria of Bison. Remember, we had a week-long conversation with the 16 different organizations that did everything for our youth. Alternative Ed, Tito Jackson was one of the 100. The list is so long, it's 100 people long list, but it is posted online, and last night was a beautiful event filled with so much love, and I really enjoyed myself. So shout out to those that won 100 most influential people in the Hispanic community. Mwah! Yes, you deserve it. There was a very interesting story that I read. This isn't really news, it was just a report, and it's pretty long, but you can go ahead and read it on the Wake Up with Taylor Andre page, Tayla Andre. It talks about are Blacks abandoning Christianity for African faiths. It talks about people abandoning the theory of Jesus Christ, Lord thy Savior, and going back to our ancestors and those that came before us and the angels and, the divine, going back to self. It was an awesome read. So are Blacks abandoning the Christian faith for African faiths? I will go ahead and post this on the Wake Up with Taylor Andre page. I enjoyed reading it. I hope you do too. I would love for us to have a conversation on this. So as soon as I find me African witch doctor or something like that, Taylor, that is a stereotype. Well, I don't know. We don't know. No one's half the battle, so we got to find somebody to teach us, right? And as soon as I do, we will have them on air and we'll be able to discuss that. 2 are killed after a man, 28 years old, crashes his car into Macy's and goes on a stabbing rampage in Massachusetts. First of all, took place in Taunton. Arthur DeRosa, 28 years old of Taunton, stabbed 2 people inside of a home on Tuesday evening, crashed into that home, stabbed 2 people inside. One was an elderly woman, 80-year-old woman, and then went to the Silver City Galleria around 7 p.m., crashed into the Macy's, and then stabbed 2 other people. Another 56-year-old man died from his injuries. An off-duty police officer shot DeRosa at the mall. He has now died. Family sources claim that he had gone to the hospital to be treated for suicidal thoughts before being released shortly before the murder spree. It's brains like that we honestly need to start tapping into and understanding, and the science behind biology. People that go on murderous sprees or suicide bombers, I believe those are the brains that we should be studying to understand what was going on before they quote unquote just snapped. Boston Public Schools is asking everybody to get involved, whether you're a parent, whether you're a student, whatever aspect that you may have, a partner, a staff, a teacher, an administrator. They're asking everybody to be a part of a 10-year master planning process. The purpose of this survey, they're asking you, we need you. Don't sit here and say your voice doesn't count. I'm over here giving you a survey so your voice can matter. And you're like, that doesn't really matter anyways. Remember, you have to trust in the process and understand that every detail does matter. Every question answered does matter. Every person who answers the questions do matter. How do you see the buildings and the programs offered within them? As far as the schools are concerned, your hopes and expectations for improving buildings and programs in the future. Data collected through this survey, along with other community engagement tools, will complete ongoing analysis of school facilities and educational/learning programs. It takes about 15 minutes to answer all of the questions. And we just want you to share your opinion about your particular school. You can complete a separate survey for each school of your students if you choose, if you wish. But it is it is currently available in English, Arabic, Creole, both Haitian and Cape Verdean, Chinese, Portuguese, Somalian, Spanish, Vietnamese. So there is no. I took the test. I took the test. I took the survey. Shout out to Take the Test Boston. I took the survey. I took the survey not only for the school that my children are currently in, but I took the survey also for the school that my son was in. So you can know the truth about how I feel about the Henry Gruen High Park. Absolutely, you need to know. I was mortified, dissatisfied. We'll leave that alone. Hold a congressional hearing and investigate into the non-consensual human experimentation of American citizens. This was sent to me yesterday. It is really interesting because we the people, this is a petition, we the people would like to request a congressional hearing and investigation into an effort to end these practices and implement laws governing any and all human experimentation. Do you know the reason why this was sent to me is because human experimentation can mean anything. That can mean anything from the chemtrails above your head to the food that's with, the genetically modified foods. So when this was sent to me like, Tayla, this is a blanket statement. We want to stop all human experimentations, period, especially the ones that are non-consensual, such as chemtrails. Such as you genetically modifying my food and finding out later, maybe 40 years, 60 years, 100 years, what that actually did to my genes. I'm down. I signed it. I'll go ahead and post it on the Wake Up with Tayla Andre page. You can sign it if you want to. We, the people, would like to request a congressional hearing and investigation in an effort to end the practices and implementing laws governing any and all human experimentation. That's scary, actually. I want to give a huge shout out to Faith's Naturals, our sponsor, of course. She has this gel, and it's not your typical gel. It's jam-packed with flax seeds, a rich source of micronutrients, magnesium, vitamin B1, essential fatty acids such as omega-3s, making this gel overall extremely beneficial for the health and longevity of hair. Plus, it smells amazing. So head over to Faith's Natural. I use it. If you got little curly cues, it works. Those little BDBs in the back, it works. You're trying to clean up your kitchen, it works. I love it. Faith Natural has damn near everything. And if you need it, just ask. And she'll most likely make it for you. I want to shout out E.R. Bills. You guys remember E.R. Bills? He's been on the show a few times talking about the Texas Soakem, Texas Holocaust, the murder of Blacks in Texas over 100 years ago. And 100 years ago this week, Jesse Washington, an 18-year-old African-American man, was burned at the stake in Waco, Texas on May 8th, 1916. A 53-year-old white woman named Lucy Fryer was bludgeoned to death outside of her home 7 miles south of the city. The chief and only suspect was Washington, an illiterate farmer who worked for Lucy and her husband, George. They reported to have had anger issues and mental disabilities. Washington allegedly left his cotton plow to get more seed for Mrs. Fryer. As she was measuring cotton seed out, she reportedly scolded him for his harsh treatment of the plow mules, and Washington took offense, striking her on the head with a hammer. He allegedly raped her and killed her. Afterwards, he apparently resumed his work. I wish you could see my face because I'm not finna kill my boss and then go back to work. It don't work like that. And if anybody had just a little bit of common sense back in the day, I don't think any Negro would have killed their boss and went right back to work. We would have been walking off the fields, maybe going in the house to get some lemonade, go get some of that apple pie. But I don't think he would have went back to work. I'm sorry. I know it's not funny. But just when, in hindsight, 2020, It's perfect. And I'm not gonna kill my boss and go back to work. But he was burnt at the stake. All of this, as well as the pictures, are currently on the Wake Up with Tayla Andre page and are also in E.R. Bill's book, The Black Holocaust, The Paris Horror and Legacy of a Texas Terror, 2015. Please go out and get the book. It's an amazing book. I don't know if you guys remember the conversation, but he said that Harvard is currently using his book. And using it for history, using it to talk about race relations. And I think this is absolutely amazing that Harvard would even put it in their bookstores and make it available to their students. After, when you read it, you have a completely different outlook. It's like how you felt after the movie Rosewood. I kind of hate the fact that there's a new television show named Rosewood, because it takes away from the fact that there was a movie about Rosewood and what took place in Rosewood. And depending on generational gap, when I say Rosewood, you're thinking of the TV show. I'm thinking of that movie. Made me leave the theater. I couldn't go nowhere for a week. I had to just stay in the house and rock myself to sleep. It's okay. It's not the same like it used to be, Tayla. That was a very difficult movie for a lot of people to stomach. In other news, medical errors are now the third leading cause of death. And people are asking questions like whether or not we need to start taking a different approach. The ignorant vilification and unethical suppression of natural plant-based approach to medical issues of both mental and physical nature have gone long exposed for the world to see. However, the proponents of pharmaceutical derived mechanisms, basically, 290 people die from prescription drugs every day. That's over 250,000 people dying from medical errors each year. Don't you think it's time to go call Dr. Sebi? Absolutely. Anytime I can drop Dr. Sebi's name, I sure am. Please look him up. Sebi, Dr. Sebi. Or Sebi. I've heard it many different ways. But Dr. Sebi was taken to court by the federal. He went to federal court. The feds took him to court. The government took him to court, and he beat the case. They were like, yo, you're not curing cancer. You're not curing AIDS. You're not healing people of ailments that we already discussed and disclose are incurable. We have walks for them. They're incurable. Why are you out here telling people you can cure them? Dr. Sebi had paperwork after paperwork after patient coming in saying I had XYZ, and now I am clean bill of health. You don't believe me? Just read. My bad. In other news, I get so excited when I talk about Dr. Sebi, but 250,000 people a year, dying off of medical. The third largest reason why people are currently dying is because of medical mishaps. And that includes overdosing on prescription drugs. U.S. urges colleges to rethink questions about criminal records. I'm sorry, it's 2016. You thought somebody that had a criminal past couldn't get an education? Yeah, that's actually really, really true. If you ever filled out a FAFSA form, FAFSA, the federal aid for you to go to college, it asks whether or not you're a criminal, if you've ever been convicted of a felony. And if you have, guess what? Your FAFSA stops there. We're sorry, but we can't help you. You can't get any money from the federal government because you're a felon. So why would you need an education, you felon? Why would you need a job, you felon? And the Obama administration is urging universities and colleges to reevaluate how they question an applicant's criminal history. Well, guess what, government? You guys have to question yourself too, because you won't give me any funding. You won't give me any money. So why should the colleges reconsider when you're not even thinking about reconsider? Well, guess what? Some things are being put in place. Now, noting that an estimated 70 million Americans have some form of criminal record. 70 million Americans. Home of the land of the free, home of the brave, right? Land of the free. How are you free when we are the number one country for imprisoning people? What? You ain't nothing but a number. A $ number, that jail number, my stock number. We imprison everybody to get that change, to make that dough. Feeling like Kendrick Lamar, it's nothing but Lucy. I thank President Barack Obama for his efforts. I really do hope that colleges rethink and question criminal records, and whether or not, if you have a criminal past, dictates whether or not you should have an education in your future. 13 U.S. soldiers arrested after getting into a fight with a group of Senegalese men at a nightclub in Italy. The fight started inside the LIV nightclub early Sunday rising when a man slashed the arm of a U.S. soldier. The fight then moved outside where a group of soldiers and Senegalese men came at each other, some armed with knives and broken bottles. 4 Americans and 2 Senegalese men were injured in the fight. The 13 arrested, the American soldiers have been freed pending their next hearing on Thursday. This is horrible. Our soldiers should not be going outside of the country and coming back with criminal records. They go in there. You want to know why? They're so ready to go. They're ready, set, fight. And in the state of Massachusetts, only veterans get preference to become police officers, firefighters. So if you were ready, set overseas in the, what my brother called them, with the sandworms, that's so derogatory. But this is the mindset of some people, right? You got to be honest. You in the desert with those sandworms. You come back home and you looking at a whole bunch of people that look back like those sandworms. What you going to do? You still going to have that hostile attitude? You're going to take the same approach that you took when you were in the service. You're doing the same work, right? That's just my 2 cents. That's my personal feelings. Opinion, not fact. Canadian schoolboy who's 15 years old discovers a lost Mayan city all the way from the comfort of his home. William Gaudry, 15 years old, linked Mayan city locations to star constellations. If you can't give it up for my baby, we have scientists that have collectively thousands of years of experience. But my boy, 15 years old, said, you know what? Those were people of the stars. Those were people of the constellations. Let me go ahead and figure something out. I bet you, I can almost guarantee you, scientists all over the globe are going to start taking a different approach, following in this 15-year-old's footsteps, and we are going to find more lost civilizations in Egypt and Ethiopia. And I don't mean the country of Ethiopia, I mean the continent of Ethiopia, because for those who don't know, Ethiopia was the name of Africa before it was Africa. And then you go back a little further, Kemet, and all that good stuff. But we're going to start finding a lot. I can almost guarantee it. Mark my word. This time next year, we're going to find at least 3 more lost civilizations. At least 3. And for those who don't know, a little side note. You guys remember Muammar Gaddafi? His name was pronounced so many different times. But you remember him? There is a lost city in Libya. And it's like pyramids and tombs. And Libya said that nobody outside of Libya was going to excavate that land, as far as like anthropology is concerned, and clearing the dust and finding. It's not anthropology. That's the study of people. Archaeology. He said that no archaeologists were going to come in and do any, unless it was Libyans that were doing it. It wasn't going to be done. That's another reason, for those who don't know, why he was killed. He wasn't perfect. I'm not going to sit here and paint this perfect picture of a man who was murderous, a man who allegedly raped little girls. I'm not going to paint a picture of a perfect man. I sure am not. But I am going to say that he was killed for more reasons than just his war crimes. Because if that's the case, why aren't we running into most of these countries that are at civil war with each other in Africa? We really don't care. We just want your resources. I ain't afraid to tell the truth. I was thinking about that the other day, about telling the truth, and it brought me back to Bernie Mac when he was like, Your Honor, I'll tell the truth. I seen it. And a lot of us need to be like that when it comes to information. Like, yeah, I read it. We're so quick to bite our tongue. We're so quick to, spare somebody's feelings. The truth will say, let me tell you how freeing the truth is. The truth that have you like, whew, I wish I knew the truth earlier. You should have told me the truth. I promise to tell the truth. Emma Watson needs to tell the truth. Emma Watson, you remember Harry Potter, Hermione? Well, she was one of the people named in the Panama Papers. Dum dum dum. The only downfall is that she actually received no tax advantage. She just is one of the ones that is caught up because she tried to get into that offshore accounting, but maybe there's levels to this, and she's all the way on the bottom level. But they did find her name. I hope that she's taking a different approach in her finances as of now. The police oversight panel recommends creating a separate office for complaints against officers. Hallelujah. 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 If only we could do this on a federal level. The Boston Police Department Citizens Oversight Panel has recommended that the city create a new independent office charged with investigating allegations of misconduct against police officers. The recommendation was made to Mayor Marty J. Walsh in December. Hold on, let me reread that. The recommendation was made 25 years ago. Yo! Are you serious? Are we serious right now? Is this really real? You know when you say really, like, is it real? For real, for real? Like it makes it more realer than it was prior. For real, for real? The recommendation was made to Mayor Marty J. Walsh in December, months after he vowed to reform the Community Oversight Panel, or the co-op, which is widely seen as ineffective. You think? And asked the panel to come up with suggestions. It's May. I could have came up with that suggestion in 2001. 2001. That was a year that blew. Yeah, 2001. 1998. 1986. The three-member panel presented the Community Office of Police Accountability, a separate office for people to file complaints against the police department that would be granted the resources and authority to investigate those complaints. The Accountability Office would include an executive director, 10 staff members, a board, a budget, and an office away from the police headquarters. The Accountability Office would be a first step towards restoring confidence in the police department, which has been criticized for taking too long to investigate allegations of misconduct against officers. I am so happy. I am so proud. There is a God. Hallelujah. I'm serious because come on now. Come on now. With everything that's going on in the city, with everything that's going on in the country, with the can we also set up a new review board to find out who killed who? Because they ain't doing a good job at that either. Hey, I'm not afraid to tell the truth. Never ever. We currently have a call on the line, 617-282-0062. Rise and call you live.
Good morning, Tayla. Just to correct something about the Muammar Gaddafi story. Muammar Gaddafi was not a rapist. Now his son was accused in probably he did do it, but it wasn't the father. And secondly, the woman that was in his that was his bodyguards, those were African women, but they were called prostitutes because in the Muslim and the Arab community, our women are considered as whores. He was the only one that treated our women like queens, and he gave them positions of power. In fact, there's a community right now in Libya. Prior to America going to Libya, they were the first Africans in an Arabian country who were given full citizenship, and they were treated as equal. As soon as America went over there, we burnt down that city. And these, you can Google it on YouTube, but it just annoys me when we repeat propaganda without checking the facts. Muammar Gaddafi was not a bad guy. Now, yeah, his son was evil, but should you be punished for something your relative does? That has nothing to do with Muammar. His son and Muammar are two different.
So what I'm repeating is what the media has been telling us over and over again. What I'm repeating is what the media has already painted the picture of Muammar Gaddafi. They have already painted that picture that he was a murderous man. They have already painted that picture that he was out here raping little girls. There's a story actually that has been circulated of a mother and a daughter that have already come forward and said that he went to go visit a school. She was about 13, 14 years old. They went to go visit a school and she was walking home from school and he said, "I want that one." She was picked up and the mother never saw her again.
have to justify killing him and be making him evil. But isn't it funny? Anytime someone who is outside our community that treats us like an equal, they're evil. Hugo Chavez, well, he was African Latino, so he's not really outside our group, but he's evil. Muammar Gaddafi, he treated us with respect as equivalent to his own flesh and blood. He's evil. Anytime America goes to war and you treat our people equally, they're going to call you a terrorist. Like, his son was evil, I'll admit, his son was a scumbag, but his son has nothing to do with the actions that Muammar did. And not to mention, he was going to give $1 billion to Farrakhan to help African.
Yep.
That's why they got to paint those pictures.
You know, hold on, time out. He wasn't going to give. He did give that money, and the American government intercepted it and won't give it, and won't give it up.
In their possession, I didn't know if it was.
Yeah, it was given already. He already gave it. He said, "Here you go, it's yours." The United States government intercepted it, and the honorable. Yep, they kept it for their own goods.
No, those are the real rapists of the world. And it's funny, now you go older, you know who's raping little girls? American soldiers. I mean, like I said, the son was a scumbag, but it's no reflection of Muammar. If any of our people want to Google the things that Muammar did for the African community, yeah, he had an ego, I'll admit that, but he did a lot for Africa. He did more than any African American I've ever seen.
And he was trying to unify all of it was supposed to be the United States of Africa. He wanted one currency, and if y'all wanted to come over here and steal our diamonds and steal our gold and steal our oil, you were gonna have to pay us in gold. We don't want your American money. We don't want that printed paper. He wanted everything backed in gold, and if you couldn't back it in gold, we don't want it. And listen, there's a real story behind why Muammar Gaddafi was killed. But we are messing up Power Hour. Thank you for that confirmation. 617-282-0062. We're about to start talking about another form of fighting for your rights. But really quickly, I'm powerful. You're powerful. We're powerful. I'll be right back. Big City 101.3 FM. Waking up with Tayla Andre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. I'll be right back. It's going to be silent because you guys can't listen to the music because they'll fine me for it. No. Come in, have a seat.
You said don't be nervous. I said, oh, all right.
No, there's no reason to be nervous. If you want to sit, if you want to stand, whatever makes you feel comfortable, you two will be here.
Okay.
And share the mic.
So both a couple
Oh,
of
goody.
monkeys here, so.
Let me turn my phone off.
Mm-hmm.
I want that thing going off. So this is your office, huh?
Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 a.m.
Yeah, we was listening out for you this morning. We just heard music.
When? Oh, I do play music. Yeah, I do
Okay.
play music in the beginning.
All right. Got my little notes.
And I don't have bios on either one of you. So when we
Okay.
go up, I'll just let you introduce yourselves.
Okay.
And as soon as the music ends, this is YouTube. We'll put it over here so they can get a clear picture of what's going on in here. And then we'll also be Facebooking live.
Okay. Glad I did put the makeup and wig on today.
You look fine.
Thank you. How are you feeling? You okay?
I'm not gonna have a panic attack, I don't think.
No.
I hope not to have one.
So, I don't know who set this up, so I'm not really sure. Are we here? We're just gonna,
Verizon, the focus is on the Verizon strike, and then we're gonna pull it out a little bit and talk about unions in general.
Okay.
The purpose of unions, histories of unions, how can people get a part of unions, and
Let me do that.
I heard you knew everything.
are you gonna-
But for the most part, it'll be the Verizon workers strike, why they're striking, why it's important to us, why people should even care,
Right. Okay.
and why there's more police officers than strikers.
Because the police officers getting paid. They're getting that detail money.
I see.
Oh yeah. I told him I'll put on a police
I'm
officer.
powerful, you're powerful, we're powerful, you all, we know it. We just fail to realize it. Every day y'all wake up and feel defeated and let people tell you who you are and what you're going to do and what your future look like. You better take that power back and know who you are. Waking up with Tayla Andre Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. We are in the building with some union workers. The Verizon workers are on strike right now. You drive past any Verizon, you're going to see about 2 or 3 workers and about 7 police officers. I'm just joking. I'm so serious. But we have in the building today, Good Rising, Good Rising. Please introduce yourself, darling.
Good morning, my name's Ed Hastings.
Oh, put it on your left.
Oh,
You
sorry.
can. That's okay.
Good morning, my name's Ed Hastings. I'm the president of IBEW Local 2222 in Boston. We represent the Verizon workers that are out on strike right now.
Good morning. I'm Jacqueline Johnson, and Verizon employee, also union member.
So we can't really hear you. You literally have to put it on your lip.
I gotta kiss it.
Yeah, you gotta kiss it. Go ahead. One more time.
Good morning. I'm Jacqueline Johnson.
There we go.
Union member, also Verizon employee.
Go ahead, Eddie.
Okay, my name's Ed Hastings, and I'm the president of IBEW Local 2222 in Boston. We represent the Verizon workers.
And what does that mean? The IBEW 2222. What does?
So that's the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 2222. And so it's the local that represents telecommunications workers.
Oh, okay. So the IEBW
International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers.
of electrical workers, and telephone workers are included in electrical work.
That's correct.
Okay, what about the gas workers?
Yeah, they're another local.
They're another-
a different international local.
Okay, and the local, I just want to break down the actual what that means, because we see the IBs and the we see that, but we don't necessarily understand what that means. So for those that are ignorant, who are not in a union, what does that mean? How does that work? And if it's a local, that means, there's also an international. Do you guys have international, conferences? Do you guys meet up once a year? How does all of this work?
Okay, so the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers is a group of locals, some of them in the telecommunications industry, some in the electrical. The majority of the IBEW are electrical construction workers. Locally here, IBEW 103 does the electrical work, and so we are an organization of hundreds of thousands of workers in different industries.
Mm-hmm.
Ours happens to be the telecommunications industry. And our local here in Boston represents mostly Verizon workers. And so we bargain contracts and represent them with the employer,
Okay.
represent their wages, work conditions, and so forth.
What about the other people that work? What about T-Mobile? You guys represent T-Mobile? Do you?
T-Mobile they're non-union.
Ah. What other companies here, telephone companies, are union, or electrical workers that are union? So NSTAR, that they're a part of the union.
NSTAR is part of the, let's see, they are the Utility Workers Union of America.
Okay.
It's a different organization.
Okay.
They do the same, they represent their employees with respect to working conditions, wages, benefits, and so forth.
So I was completely unaware. I don't know about our listeners, but I was completely unaware that there were so many divisions of unions and different organizations. And is there a time where all of you collectively come together to protest anything or to, petition anything?
Well, that's one of the great things about unions is the solidarity amongst different unions. There's a federation of unions, the AFL-CIO. Most of the international.
Oh, somebody said there's a tapping noise.
Oh, sorry.
That's the pen. That's what it is.
That's a nervous tick, I guess. So this the American Federation. Oh boy, I'm gonna get caught. Yeah.
No, that's okay. If you don't.
The AFL-CIO is the federation of all the international unions, and so we support each other. That's one of the wonderful things about this strike is we've really experienced solidarity throughout the labor movement. All the different unions have come out and in support of us, and they're helping us with our picket line. They're helping us financially. This strike has really brought us all together.
So across all types of lines,
Right.
we're all working on one accord.
Right.
And what is the goal here?
Well, to bring a contract that our members can be proud of, to save jobs from leaving the country. That's our biggest problem in this particular fight. Is we're working for a company that is making. They made $39 billion in the last 3 years. That's profit. That's after they pay all their wages. That's after they pay their benefits. They're putting $39 billion in their pocket. And this is a healthy company that is doing well, yet they want us to make concessions.
Mm-hmm.
So they spent millions and millions of dollars on advertising, vilifying their employees in the paper, as if we're overpaid by inflating the wages.
Are you guys overpaid? I know these teachers are overpaid. No.
I can tell you the telephone workers are not overpaid. They deserve what they make for a company that is doing very well on their backs.
You said for a company doing well on their backs.
On our backs.
On your backs.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Also in the building, we have, go ahead.
Jacqueline Johnson.
You can move the mic if you want, put it in front of your face. Jacqueline Johnson, you are also a Verizon worker, correct?
Yes, correct.
So tell me from your perspective, why does Verizon think you're overpaid?
That's a good question.
Say it with speak, come on. Use some bass in your voice.
Sure, I'll be glad to. I don't necessarily think that they think we're overpaid. I think they're using it as a tactic to get people on their side, try to pressure our own members into not fighting for what's going on here. They're trying to have us take concessions and have the ability to move our work, good American jobs, be able to move them overseas. So with a company that is able to make money the way they're making it, and yet want to make more. They just want to make more and not share the wealth with the people they work for. So we're not in this asking for anything more than what we have. We're fighting to maintain what we have.
So you're not begging for anything. You're just saying, don't take away from me.
That's right. No, we're not begging for anything. We're gonna fight.
Do you guys see the people winning this versus the corporation?
Absolutely. And I'm really I'm uplifted by our membership. Our membership really understands this fight. They understand that this is a corporation that is intent on breaking this union. They want to pay less for their labor so that they can make more money. And I mean, how much? When is enough enough? If this is a company as healthy as Verizon, and they want to do this to their workers, what about companies that aren't as healthy as Verizon? And so this is really we have to draw a line in the sand, and we have to fight for our jobs, fight for our livelihood. We want to keep good middle-class jobs in this country.
So maybe I'm not understanding, because I don't see how your jobs here in America can be transferred outside of the country. So what exactly is Verizon trying to do as far as take jobs out of the United States? Is it the customer service jobs? Because I know when I call T-Mobile, it goes straight to India.
Right.
And I have to ask to speak to a representative in the United States, and they get offended.
Correct.
But there's a language barrier here, and not only is there a language barrier, but you don't understand that in the land of the free, home of the brave, I ask for what I want, and as a customer, I'm right. You don't get that. Like, you get your policy, and that's it.
So Jackie's a good example of what can happen. Jackie's job, she has a good job with good benefits, and they want to be able to take that job and move it to India, where they're not paying what nobody is making the wages and the benefits that Jackie is making over there. So what they want to be able to do is to take that call that Jackie answers every day and ship it overseas.
So when did this come up? When did this, because you guys recently went on strike. So how long has this been a part of the conversation of them wanting to move jobs overseas?
Well, they've been trying to move as much as they can for years now. We went through the same battle back in 2011, and we were able to negotiate and save some jobs back there. But what happened this time in negotiations is we started negotiations in June of 2015. The company came right out on day one and gave us a 100% concessionary contract.
What does that mean?
It means they take things such as healthcare benefits, healthcare benefits for retirees that are on fixed incomes, and they are looking for concessions in that. They want the retirees to pay more. They want the employees to pay more for their healthcare for a lesser plan.
You want me to pay more and get less?
Correct. Right.
That sounds like their phone service.
Right. So what they do is they come in with a compelling argument that healthcare in this country is out of control and that they can't afford to continue to pay these increases. So understanding the dilemma that the company is in, the union made a good faith effort to save them and made proposals that would have saved them hundreds of millions of dollars, and it just wasn't enough. And on top of that, they wanted to take things away such as disability and pensions. In every category of our contract, they're looking for givebacks. And so if we were working for a struggling company, then we'd have to consider that for their survival, so that our people can continue to work and the company could survive. This company's doing a little bit more than survive. They're putting $1.8 billion per month. That's billion with a B.
1.8 billion after. So all of my bills are paid. That's strictly in the savings account. 1.8 billion a month.
That's after they pay these benefits that they say that they can't afford. They're sticking $1.8 billion in their pocket.
So what do they want? 2.6 billion a month?
I don't know.
Trillion.
She said a trillion now. Jackie, come talk to me. Tell me about what's going on from your standpoint. Put on your lip, baby.
Okay, well, I've been with the company for 22 years and worked.
You look 22.
Thank you. And I've worked my entire working career with Verizon, and this drastically affects our livelihood, our income, the ability to take care of our families. We have elderly parents we take care of, and it puts us into a bind where we have to fly by the seat of our pants at this point. And so we're here to fight and get what we have been working so hard for. And again, as Ed was talking about the retirees, they've worked hard. They've earned those wages and
You finna retire. You said you ain't taking for what I work
I'm trying
for.
to retire with dignity and pride. We have 2 children that I'm trying to see have a better job than myself. My parents had good jobs, and I have a better job than they do, and I'd like for our children to have a better job than what I have. I'm trying to create a legacy that is lasting to all generations. You know, it's a family. We're family. We're just not coworkers. You know, a lot of our relationships and friendships have been created by the union bond, and we're fighting. And if we don't fight, when we fight, we win, as what we say on the picket line. You know, and if we don't stand for something, we'll fall for anything. So I'm here just to be a voice and the face of the 40,000 employees who are out of work.
40,000?
40,000 who are out of work. Absolutely.
So who's working the phone lines and who's working selling phones?
The less experienced people that Verizon hire. And good luck on getting, the best service and your phone fixed and your poll work and all that. So, this is our livelihood. This is our jobs,
So I actually read a story a couple months ago that said that Verizon was basically hiring anybody. They were like on-spot hiring. You want a job, we'll hire you. And they were on-spot hiring people, giving people jobs like the same day. And they were like, forget our workers. For what? Workers for what? Respect for what? We can hire more people. So there's currently 40,000 people that don't have a livelihood right now, but still have a job.
Absolutely.
That's right. So the people that are on strike now, the CWA represents the Verizon workers in New York. There's an IBEW local in upstate New York. CWA also has the Potomac area, Philadelphia, DC, that area, and IBEW has New Jersey. So from DC and Virginia right up to the New Hampshire border, Verizon is on strike. So they brought in.
So it could be more if this was nationwide. So this is East Coast bound.
Right. Well,
Yes.
Verizon is basically cut off the rest of the country as far as landline goes. They sold off their landline in the rest of the United States.
Hold on, pause. These people make $1.8 billion off the East Coast
Per
alone.
month. Per month.
That's a lot of money. Could you imagine what that number would be if it was?
Well, that's a little misleading.
Okay.
They make a lot of their money on the
Wireless side. Okay.
which
Okay.
is
It's not union.
Oh, okay. So we're talking about home-based service. We're talking about your telephone lines at home, East Coast bound workers.
Correct.
Okay. So now that we have that clarified.
Well, the CWA also has some wireless workers that have been organized and been fighting for a first contract. The Everett store, the wireless store over in Everett, they've been fighting for over a year to try to get their first contract. So they're also on strike.
Are you in efforts with them? Those first-year contracts?
Yes, they're on strike with us now. That's why you see wireline workers along with the wireless workers out in front of the stores. That's why you see picket lines in front of the
So in all honesty, coming from a non-union background, coming from I beat the horn because whatever y'all fighting for, if you willing to fight, I'm with you. Beep beep, I'm with you. But I don't know what you're doing. Like I don't know who's who. I don't know why you're out there. I just understand if somebody is fighting and trying to use their voice to be heard, I'm with you 100%. But I'm gonna tell you, me and probably the rest of the listeners have no idea who's on the picket line and why you guys are on the picket line. So we're starting to understand a little bit more why you guys are on the picket line, because you have a $1.8 billion, $1.8 a month billion dollar company who does not want to pay their workers what they're worth. They want to cut back healthcare. You want to cut back pensions. You want to cut back everything that I've just worked all of these 22 years for, so you can increase your bottom line.
Correct.
Got it.
So that they can pay exorbitant financial packages to the top of the house, to Lowell McAdam.
Oh, you better call it. Yes, I love it when we put people on the spot. Call their names.
Well, Lowell McAdam
$40 million contract.
is the CEO of Verizon, and he he makes 200 times what the average worker makes.
200. What does he do? Does he do any of the work?
Playing hardball. That's what he's doing.
He doesn't do anything that our members do. But he's out there, he's out there telling the members, we need to go to mediation. We should just go to mediation. But the problem with, we would have mediated this thing from the beginning, except there's every single thing in our contract is being attacked. And, when you go into mediation, you're probably going to have to give up.
Something, yeah.
So you're going to have to give up half of what you're going in for.
Mhm,
Mediation is an opportunity to come to a middle ground on
Yeah.
something. But,
You win some, you lose some.
right. But when you've got 17 concessions on the table, you can't eat that.
For those who the concessions are
Taking a step back, taking less
taking less.
than what you have.
17 lines that are just scratched out. Like, we want to change this, we want to change this, we want to take away this.
Right.
What during those mediations did they want to give? What were they willing to give during those mediations? Because
Well,
again, we're coming to a 50-50.
Well,
Was there
mediation-
anything giving?
Well, mediation did not occur. But what I'm saying is that Lowell McGavin is out telling our members, you should just agree to mediation. If they just mediate this thing, we can get through it, is what he's out telling our members.
Mhm.
Instead of sending his people to the bargaining table with a real intent. The people on our side of the table and the people that he has sent to the table, we have the ability, we know how to get to an agreement. The problem is when you want to get to an agreement, both sides have to want to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And when we have, this company didn't come in to get an agreement with us. They wanted to shove this down our throat. They felt that they were in a position to do it. I believe, I was at the bargaining table in the beginning and right up until expiration. I believe that this was a well-orchestrated plan to put us right where we are right now.
Mm.
They never wanted to get to an agreement with us. If they did, they would have bargained with us in good faith. Instead, what they did was they just put proposal after proposal on the table. They ignored the union's proposals. And it brought us to a point where we had no other choice, but nobody wants to go on strike. We don't want our members suffering the way that they're suffering, but at some point you have to stand up. You have to stand up and say, enough is enough.
And I can't take no more.
That's right.
So, Jackie, let me ask you a question. How is your family surviving right now if you and 40,000 other workers aren't going to work? And how much money are they bringing in per day from these 40,000 that are not working? Do we have those numbers?
Well,
I'm sorry.
So the fact that Verizon has 40,000 workers that aren't currently being paid because they're on strike, how much money are they bringing in per day for the workers being on strike? Do we know that number? No, we don't know that number. So are
They're
they?
saving a lot of money in salary and benefits, I can tell you that. Another thing that we failed to mention is, as soon as they were able to, they shut off our members' health care.
mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of people in,
You have 40,000 employees or members, union members,
Right.
that don't have health care,
that's correct,
Correct.
that have children without health care,
that's correct.
that have ailing individuals in their family without health care.
That's correct.
Got it.
So somebody who has AIDS, who had health care taken care of through their company, but they're currently on strike, are paying $700 a pill right now.
Correct.
Some of them are, that's right.
As of April 30th at midnight, our health care and life insurance expired. So
So if
We have
somebody,
nothing.
if my husband died,
yes.
In the-
well, sorry.
so
say
all that money that I put into life insurance, no one,
Well, the life insurance is a little, that's a good question. Right now, I don't know what is gonna happen if the companies, it hasn't been clear with us whether or not our members are going to be covered in the event of a death. What they've sent out a COBRA package has told people what their rights are as far as picking up the cost of coverage themselves, which is, they're not making any money. I don't know how they're gonna pick
Right.
up the cost of coverage. And as part of that, they gave the life insurance piece of it, told them that they could convert it to a private life insurance plan. So in the
for
meantime,
a higher cost and
Mhm.
for a lower amount of benefits, just like Verizon, huh?
Mhm.
I'm pissed for y'all. Like,
Yeah.
I think there's a different perspective next time, I don't think I'm gonna just beat the horn. I think next time I might get out and pick up a wooden stake with you guys, because this is more than what mainstream media is telling us. Because mainstream media is saying that y'all crazy, go back to work and just get the job done, because you're making it hard out here for people who trying to call their phone company.
That's right, and that's not coincidence that Main Street thinks that. They've been putting it in the newspaper for over a year.
Mm-hmm.
They've been pushing their agenda for over a year, rather than coming to the bargaining table with a serious intention of getting to a fair contract with their employees. This has all been a big, media blitz. Full page ads in the Globe every day.
Yeah.
Instead of spending the money, the money that they've wasted trying to take this away, they could
have paid y'all.
Absolutely.
They could have paid health insurance 10 times over, life insurance.
Absolutely.
Y'all could have got a raise, but instead they'd rather just bash you. How does that look? I'm just saying, like, if Verizon was your parent, how does that look as the parent coming out like, my child's bad as hell, my child doesn't do this, my child doesn't do it, and you just out there bashing your kids?
That's right.
What does that say about you?
That's right. That's how our members feel. That the employer that they work so hard to make so successful is so intent on taking from them and vilifying them in the newspaper. And, some of this stuff that they talk about, they're looking to take away disability benefits from people that get hurt on the job. And the way that they convey that in their messages to the media and their messages to their managers is that all we're looking for is for our members to have to see a doctor when they're out. Well, every single member of this local and any member of Verizon knows that when you're out of work, you need to see. You have
to see your doctors.
You have to see your doctors,
Absolutely.
and they make your doctors go through about hours and hours of paperwork. So our members aren't just calling it sick and not seeing doctors. Our members are, but that's the way they want to portray it. They want to make it look like the things that they're looking for are just minor. The tuition assistance that they were, one of the things that they were putting in the newspaper as one of our great benefits. They want to make that somehow a big subject in our bargaining, when it really, the things that they're asking for, we've agreed to most of it. Except what they're looking to do is narrow. If you're in a certain job, you can't take a certain field of study. But they make it look like there's some stupid things that are in there. Like people were taking advantage of, like lawn management or something. They're right. People shouldn't be paid their tuition to go for lawn management when they're working for a television.
Lawn management?
Things like.
Well, you know what? I knew you were going to do me wrong, so I had to go find me another field.
That's right.
And you're going to pay for it.
That's right.
But those are the kinds of things they make it look like it's just small stuff that they're trying to take away from.
And it's really actually health insurance, life insurance. These are huge benefits, pensions. These are huge. And you can't just take that away from people after I've been accustomed to this for 22 years and you just want to take it away.
And if you're working for a struggling company, those are decisions that you have to make.
Yeah.
And maybe we do have to take a step back.
But at $1.8 billion a month, nah. NAH, nah, I'm good. But can we come back, Jackie? Because I have some questions as a mother. I have some questions are you married? You said
yes, I am married.
Is your husband solely supporting your family right now?
Correct.
So you went from a two-parent house, a two-income household to a one-income household.
Correct.
How is this affecting your life and your lifestyle?
Well, I believe in God, first of all, and I believe in prayer. And
Ashe.
And amen. And just putting one foot in front of the other and just have a brighter perspective that there's a light at the end of the tunnel and that we'll get through this because we're fighters. And this does affect everyone, not just myself. It impacts all of us. So it's just, your lifestyle has to be rearranged. Things have to be cut back. For example, I was just telling Ed that I went to my son's book fair last week. When it comes to books, I have no problem paying for my children's education or books and so forth. So he asked for a book pack and I looked at the price and I told him, I said, it wasn't a toy, it was books. And I told him, I said, baby, I can't do it right now. And I felt really bad that I couldn't do that because of my situation financially. I said, let's try Amazon. Maybe we can get a couple of books on Amazon, but it's something he wanted. And I had to tell him no. So that's just one example. And, you know, you rearrange the lifestyle, you tighten things up, you open up some canned goods and try to survive. You know, it's unusual and it's different because it's the longest that I've been out on strike. The last strike we had in 2011, that lasted probably 2 weeks. So we're going on a month as of Friday. So not getting a paycheck and again, not having those benefits. I don't know his or her name, but there's a coworker in my building that was just diagnosed with cancer.
Lord have mercy. Where Dr. Sebi at?
Right. Exactly, Dr. Sebi. And so I don't know his or her situation, but there's, again, like you said, the AIDS patients, the chemotherapy patients, the dialysis patients, the parents who have children with disabilities, and parents who depend on their children's income to help support them on their fixed income. So it just really throws a monkey wrench in everything that we're accustomed to, and it's just our livelihood. We're not asking for anything more than what we've given. Verizon's advertising 7.5 increase in raise, but what's the point of getting that raise if we don't have a job? You know, and just everything that we have fought for.
And you mean don't have a job because the jobs that were sent overseas?
They want to send the jobs overseas. So imagine if Verizon is successful in this attempt to outsource all the jobs, the call center jobs, technicians, engineers jobs, how much more profitability Verizon will get, because they're paying less overseas. If it's 1.8 billion a month now, imagine if Verizon is successful. It also will set the tone for other corporations to outsource jobs, and this is America. So that just changes the whole state of your being. Like, so then what's the point of being here in America and fighting for your job?
You might have to go to India to go get your job back.
Well, we may have to go to India, but we don't have the same benefits.
Yeah, you're not.
Right, it's a whole different cost, wages and cost of living. So it's important that, you know, and we appreciate this platform, Tayla, to get the word out, to get the message out, and to ask questions. Come ask us questions. We'll have a conversation. I've talked to so many people and they're amazed that, oh, I didn't know it was like that. Yes, it's like that. We're at rock bottom at this point, but we're gonna fight. We have to fight.
This is scary. So I want to shout out to those that are
scary.
currently on Facebook Live. Dennis Cole said, support the workers. Dr. France said, I definitely feel for them. I've been dealing with this issue for a while with my mom. Gillette has been making moves to move to Mexico for years now. The not knowing, the anxiety, the loss of benefits / packages. It's tough. Don't give up.
Thank you.
617-282-0062. Do you have any questions for the Verizon workers? Any questions as far as the unions are concerned? Now, I do have a question how or why Verizon is union. How did that come about versus like my personal company is T-Mobile and they're not union, and maybe that's the reason why I call 611 and go to India. How did Verizon become a union, and why are certain companies unions and certain companies not union?
Okay, well, Verizon, as it is today, it was the old New England Telephone, New York Telephone. It was the telephone company.
Not the bells.
Yeah, the bells.
Oh, the big bells, David Bells.
Yes, right.
Oh, y'all should have expected this, the monopoly company of America.
That's right. That's exactly it. So they were, they years ago, in order to increase wages and benefits and work conditions, safety, and so forth, people came together and formed a union. And over the years, they've made sacrifices in order to build up those benefits and working conditions. And so we currently have one of the best contracts in the industry. And what has developed is the company has gone into the wireless end of the business, and we don't necessarily have a right to just go right into that business. We have to organize those workers, and the company has spent millions and millions of dollars to keep the union out, because obviously, without a voice on the job, they dictate what the wages and work conditions will be. So it's not easy to get a union into a shop. So the wireless side of the house is basically a different entity, a different part of the company. And so there are a lot of people, it takes a lot of courage to bring a union into the workplace, because what happens is they will go right after the people that are organizing. So you find a lot of times what will happen in a workplace is people say, this isn't enough is enough. We got to get a union in here. We got to get somebody to help us. And as soon as the company identifies that, usually what happens is they'll bring in a consulting firm that will teach them how to keep a union out, because union is equal to the corporation, because that means they have to share with their workers. And so there's always major efforts to keep unions out. So we've had a courageous group of people at the Verizon Wireless stores who have said enough is enough and we want to be part of the union. And I just want to give a shout out to the people over in that Everett store. Those people are really the heroes of this strike, because Verizon, they'll ignore us on the wireline side of the house. They think that they can operate without us. They're finding out now that they can't operate without us. But those wireless stores, they make a lot of money in those stores, and those courageous people over in Everett store that have stood up and said enough is enough has given us the right to picket at those locations and affect that side of business as well. So that's what we're up against. We'd like to bring everybody into a union, so everybody has a voice in the job. Everybody has an opportunity to lift themselves up. But corporate America has us pointing at each other.
So if I can get this straight, back in the day when there was South Bell, West Bell, North Bell, Big Bell, Baby Bell, and the bell started becoming this big, huge, non-liberty, no freedom bell. That's when the workers of then, we didn't have cell phone service. That's when the workers of landline said, listen, we need to come together and figure out how we can speak on one accord. The unions were brought in. Now, a couple years later, it's 2016. Everybody has a cell phone. No one has a landline anymore. And if they
do,
you
I sure do.
You're a Verizon worker. We would expect you to.
Mostly too, so.
But now that we have wireless everywhere, these wireless workers are not union. But we have a store in Everett of wireless workers that are like, we get what you're fighting for. Well, we stand on one accord. Why do you think other wireless employees are not stepping to the picket line?
Because it's so difficult. Because bringing a union into a workplace, you're really up against a battle with your employer, and you're risking your employment, frankly, to step up and be a leader. And without leaders, it takes a lot to win recognition in a shop. And a lot of times in these wireless stores, people aren't planning on staying there for a long time, so they're not fully invested.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so some people want to make a career out of it. They want to work in this business, and they want to do it in a union environment.
You would think that the wireless workers that work on those poles that could possibly fall and injure themselves would want those help.
That's on the wireline side of the house, to be on the poles.
To be on the pole, but what about the towers?
The cell towers, yeah.
Yeah, is that still poles? That's still wireline? Right.
The tower work is that's on the wireless side of the house. You're right. The wireline people build the network that feeds those towers and so forth. But there actually are some CWA members that work on those towers.
Okay.
They're wireless workers as well.
Okay. I feel like more of the workers, I'm thinking like of the ITs, maybe not the front of the house, would you like a cell phone today? Are you here to pay your bill? I can understand why they may not be invested. But as far as IT is concerned, as far as like the back office is concerned, I would think that more of them would want to unionize, that more of them would want to speak in solidarity and have their voices heard and make sure they have because those are jobs and Verizon's a great company with a big name, international. I don't understand why more of them wouldn't want to have a union or to join forces with you guys?
Well, I think they do, and I think that this is why this fight with these people in the Everett stores, and we also have some stores in New York City and New York State that are also union and fighting for a contract as well. They're the pioneers. They're the ones that if we're successful in Everett, we're successful with the other wireless stores, and I think that it will build. People will see it's possible. It's possible to bring a union in. It's possible to bring up our wages and our work conditions. That's where we want to be. That's where the future of this business is. And Verizon doesn't want the union in it because they have more control over it. They pay less. So that's really what this fight is about. Our future.
Yeah.
We need to be part of Verizon's future. We built the company to what it is today, and now they just want to put us to the side. This is a fight. We're putting a line in the sand, and we're not going to allow it.
What is your role at Verizon?
I was a technician for the first 16 years of my career. I've been a business agent for since 1998 now. So I've been full time with the union since 1998.
Okay, so it was just a little conversion for you, but you're still a part of the company itself.
Right.
Okay. All right. So what does this look like? What does this? Let's say, for instance, fast forward. Hindsight is 2020. What does a successful end of strike look like?
Well, we're able to bring a contract back to our members that they will ratify and be proud of, where their benefits, we maintain their benefits, they maintain their work conditions, they maintain their jobs.
Job security.
We're able to keep the jobs from leaving the United States.
What does this look like? Let's say, for instance, I haven't been to work for almost a month. Let's say this persists for 2 months. So it's been 2 months. I've been out of work. I've been to the doctor 7 times. My child with disabilities has been to the doctor 22 times. I've paid out of pocket this whole time. Now we have this contract that has been ratified. We're signing on the dotted line. What about is there like a retroactive, like, do I get my pay from the 2 months that you didn't pay me? Do you reimburse me for the healthcare costs that I came out of pocket for? If my husband died and I got no life insurance, or I didn't do the conversion to a private sector type life insurance, like, what does that look like at the end of the day?
Well, it all depends on what is in the contract at the end. And there are times after a strike when some of the COBRA payments, if our members now decide that they want the same coverage and that they're going to pick it up on the COBRA, it's going to cost them about $1,800.
That sounds, I don't even like the name COBRA. That sounds a little snaky. So how much is it going to cost?
A family coverage is going to cost about $1,800 a month for somebody that's not.
Hold on, pause. $1,800 a month for health insurance.
That's
For a
right.
family.
For a family.
Correct.
How much money y'all make if $1,800 is what they want to pay for health insurance?
0, unless we go out and get another job in the meantime. So we have 2 days of strike duty. In the meantime, we can go out and find something else to
Hold on.
support our
I'm confused.
households.
I'm confused.
Right, so we could not afford that kind of health insurance that COBRA is offering.
Family. That means it's you and a child, you and a husband, you and somebody else is considered a family, right?
Right.
Okay, so you and a child, the child doesn't have a job. It's just you. And right now you don't have a job because you're striking. But in order for you to have health insurance, they want you to pay $1,800 a month with no job.
Correct.
That's what our members are facing right now. They either have to go out and try to find a policy of their own that would be cheaper than that. They have
Can
options.
they get mass health? They're not working.
Some people would be eligible for mass
Right.
health if they're a single income.
Okay.
But I mean, I really can't talk about the eligibility because I'm not. an
I
expert,
get it. I
but-
get it.
The state of Massachusetts has Mass Health. They have something called the Mass Health Connector,
Okay.
where people can go in and put their information in, and they'll find out what they are eligible for. Some of them are some people may be eligible for Mass Health, others may be eligible for some subsidy.
Can you guys get unemployment during this time?
That's a good question.
Right.
The law does, the law is on our side in this.
Okay.
So we should get unemployment, but the
That means
state,
Verizon has to pay though, right?
that will affect that.
Right.
Yes. But the state hasn't made the determination yet on whether or not our members are eligible during the strike.
It's been a month though. Wait, how long does it take for them to determine whether or not you guys need money?
Well, the process is that our members have all applied for unemployment. And the state will now, they send questionnaires out to the employer, the unions that represent the employer, and they have time to get that back in.
Oh, the company can have a union, but y'all can't have a union. Is that what I heard?
No, the state, our union.
Okay.
Right. So the state will send questionnaires out to the attorneys that represent the union,
Okay.
attorneys that represent
The company, okay.
They gather the information and then they make that determination. Our members did get it in 2011. The company appealed it. The appeal was upheld. We were eligible.
That was 2 weeks though. In 2011, you said you striked for 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Y'all been striking for a month. Y'all still didn't get unemployment yet?
That's right. So
Hold on, Verizon might be, that little hush hush money. Can you not go ahead? It's a different day and age now. You can buy a politician.
Oh, yeah.
we hope that's not what's going on.
What?
So we're expecting an answer soon from the state.
Well, when two or more pray and agree, because I'm gonna need Jackie over here to get her baby some books.
I know that's right.
And
To
the
send them to
people with
school.
cancer, the baby that was just diagnosed with cancer that has to go to the hospital. Whoever you are, I don't know who you are, but I pray and I touch and agree in your healing, and we might have to go to California, go call Dr. Sebi, because Is there anything you guys lastly want to say? Like, no question, just anything that you want the listeners to know about the strike, the listeners to know about Verizon, the listeners to know about, why they should be in support of your efforts?
Well, yeah, I first of all, I want to thank the hundreds of thousands of people that have supported us through this thing. I think the public really understands what this fight is about. It's about trying to keep good paying middle class jobs here in the United States. And I've been with this company over 30 years now, and so I've been through these things before, but I've never seen the level of support that we're getting now from the public, and we're very grateful for that. And I think it's because we're on the right side of this fight. This is survival for us. It's about our families. It's about trying to get a fair contract for our members. The one thing that I noticed is that today, as you said before, a lot of people don't really understand what's going on, the basics of a picket line. When there's a picket line in front of a business, those people are asking you, please support us. Please do not go in and do business with this company while we're out here fighting. So we're asking you to make a little bit of a sacrifice. And for the most part, we found a lot of support. And we don't, we're not angry with people that don't do it. We're just frustrated that people don't really understand. They don't understand that this is a fight for our survival. But I just want to tell you that our members are strong. They understand the fight. They're willing to make the sacrifice necessary to get this contract. And I'm confident that we're going to win this fight.
He said, I'm confident we are going to win this fight. Jackie, any last words, anything you want to say to the listeners? Anything you want to say to Verizon themselves?
Well, I just want to say that, we are strong. We stand strong in the face of adversity. We're left to fly by the seat of our pants, but we are not going to give up. We do appreciate everyone's support and understanding what our fight is all about. It does bring about anxiety. It does bring about, frustration, not knowing what the next day is going to bring. But we have to stand strong. We have to stand as solidarity. And we just appreciate everyone's support. And just, again, ask us questions. And we'll tell you exactly what this interview was all about and get into just delve into what this is all about with the union and how we're picketing. It's not easy going out there and walking around in circles. I mean, after a while you get dizzy. And I look at it like this, it's circles that we're walking in, but it's circles of our life. So it's a circle of life is how I look at it and try to put it out there to help encourage, my coworkers that are out there who's hit a wall, who's on the picket line crying, not knowing what the next day is going to bring. So we support each other. We would love to have the public continue to support us and just help us in our fight because we're fighting for a great cause. It is a great company, and we only just want what we have bargained and fought for.
We only want what we've had all these years that you want to take away from us.
That's right. I want to finish after 22 years. I want to put my time in that much more, and again, create a legacy for my children. I want them to go to school and do better than I did. So, that's just what I have to say. We fight, we win.
We fight, we win. You know what? I have the perfect song for you guys. You ready?
Yes.
You ready? Big City 101.3 FM, waking up with Tayla Andre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. I truly believe that we always got to fight the power.
Gotta fight it.
Okay, maybe the power doesn't want to fight with us today. Anything you guys want to say to Facebook?
Hey, Facebook. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sarah. We really appreciate it.
Anytime. Anytime that we can sit here and fight the establishment, I'm all for it.
Girl, listen. Woo.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I really don't think a lot of people understand why you guys are fighting.
Is this our first radio segment?
No, well, this is probably the longest segment we've done.
Okay.
Yeah. But we've gotten a few interviews. Miles kind of does all the interviews.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's the president.
I'm the president, actually.
Are you?
He's the business manager.
Oh,
This
okay.
is the one that
He
called me
was the
yesterday?
president. That might have been
That was probably
Paul Feeney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he a Feeney Brothers? Because I talk about him all the time.
I don't remember what he looks like. They said he was in my building.
Well,
I might have to see what he looks
it's
like.
a really good thing.
I'll see him at the rally today. Oh, we have a rally at
Oh, you guys
12
didn't
o'clock.
say that.
Yeah. We have a rally. Can we get
Hold
that
up.
in there?
Yeah, we sure can. Let's.
Thank you.
I want you to use your voice, project your voice loud for me. We gotta fight the power every way, always, all the time. And today, if you want to help fight the power, you can. How are we gonna fight the power?
We have a rally at 12 o'clock today at Bowdoin Square. So everyone, you can come out, wear red to support Verizon's or the union's continuous strike.
It's for blood because
It's for
they're
blood.
bloodthirsty.
They're
So we're wearing
bloodthirsty.
red for blood.
Absolutely. So 12 o'clock at Bowdoin Square. Come be seen, come be heard. There's strength in numbers.
And what time?
12 o'clock.
Where at?
Bowdoin. Bowdoin Square. 6 Bowdoin Square.
6 Bowdoin
Yes,
Square.
but we are going to assemble at Post Office Square at 11:30.
Okay.
And we're marching out. We're going to have like a little parade to 6 Bowdoin Square. And that's where we're going to.
Y'all need to march to the State House and say where my unemployment at.
The state house, the legislators will be marching down with us so there's gonna be a contingency leaving City Hall, marching over to the rally, as well as a contingency coming down from the State House, also marching over to the rally. And we're looking forward to a lively rally with a lot of support, a lot of downtown lunchtime people will be coming by to support our work, so.
Fight the powers that be. We gotta fight the powers all day, every day, all day. Fight the powers that be. If you don't like something, that see something, say something. They see something in that contract and they don't like it, so they're fighting for it. What are you fighting for? Get up, stand up. Hey, stand up for your rights, or you guys won't have any. Big City 101.3 FM. I love you. At least we were able to get that out.
No, thank you very much.
Yeah, I just remember
That's right,
that.
baby. You know what it is? It's DJ Sus One, the feature presentation. Listen,
You
make sure
alright?
you wake up with Tayla Andre Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 a.m. on Big City
I got to meet
101.3
my Facebook
FM.
friend.
Wake up with the Radio Rebel.
Sure did.
Politics, news, conspiracy.
When you messaged me last night, you know we have other messages together.
Conversations leading the universal
Do we? What
consciousness.
other messages
This is the
do
type
we
of
have?
stuff I'm into, all right? Make sure you tune in. Let's go.
Because I wake up to you. I've been waking up to you the last year.
There was a
Last year or
message.
two.
Let me go back. There was a message that you sent, and I was like, and I replied. I was like, oh, thank you, darling. Like,
Oh, I
that's,
think I have it, and I didn't respond. I don't for no particular reason, but I didn't respond. And then when I realized I needed to respond, I thought it was too late. But it's never too late.
it's never too
never
late.
too late when you have good, encouraging, positive words.
Or we had Facebook messages that I didn't even get to, like people that were in support for you guys, people who had questions, people who brought up like Walmart.
Okay. That was a whole hour.
Yeah, of getting the truth out.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank God. You did a great job
Yeah.
pulling it out of us.
Yeah. Well, pulling out of you.
You did great, and people are already
Thank you.
sharing the video,
I
so
did my best.
it can be shared on
I
Facebook.
put extra deodorant on today because I knew I was going to be perspiring.
So we have 3 forms.
Okay.
It'll be on Mixcloud, which is just the audio. It'll
Okay.
be on Facebook, which
Okay.
will have the just the faces of you two, and then it's on YouTube, which shows all of it.
That's
so
awesome.
however you guys wish to share.
Listen, anything that we can do for you, girlfriend, we appreciate it.
Well, get these babies
I know
some
that's
life
right,
insurance,
girl. Listen, okay.
some health insurance.
Yes,
This is
ma'am.
crazy to me. That's
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is crazy, and it is reality. It is what it is. Everything that we spoke about is what we're dealing with. So
at least. I hope you guys at least get unemployment.
oh yeah, that'd be nice.
$1,800 a month
Yes.
for health insurance? That's
Yep.
rent.
Oh
So
yeah.
So what people have to do really is sort of gamble that they don't need it. So people that are really sick are forced to pay that. People
Right.
that have prescriptions that have to be filled.
Every 30 days.
Right.
Absolutely. I mean, I didn't want to put my business out there, but my husband's diabetic. He's insulin dependent. He's on it 5 times a week. So he has insulin. He has lisinopril. He has what's the medicine for your heart? Lipitor. So I didn't want to put my business out there like that, but my husband has a chronic illness. So I mean, my children, fortunately, they're okay and they can roll over onto his insurance. And I'm pretty healthy, thank God. But this wouldn't be the time to get sick.
Right. So is he going to go on his own insurance?
He
now?
does have his own insurance.
Okay.
He does.
Thank
Yeah, he
God.
does have his own. Well, he after a while he got off my insurance because he said it was costing him too much for his copay. So he got onto a different insurance, and the kids are on it. Again, this is not the time for me to get sick. So I got to keep eating my fruits and vegetables and my water on the picket line.
Did you have a family plan? When the
Yeah,
started? Okay.
yeah.